For this activity, I want to look at how we can import DXF files into Onshape to create a 3D design. I'm going to be using a program called MakerCase.com, enmakercase.com, which will enable you to design and make box shapes. So for this, I've got a box that I can enter in the measurements here. I've set my parameters to millimeters. I've chosen a 120 by 80 by 120. I'm using outside measurements. The material thickness is 3.8 millimeters. So I use the custom thickness here because that's not one of the set thicknesses here, because that's the thickness of our birch ply at school. I'm making an open box and I'm going to be using finger joints for it. Okay. I've set the size here as well, so you can set the size of each of the joints as well on that. Once I've got that, I'm happy with the parameters for this. I'm going to go to download box plans. Okay, and that'll bring up this window here with the box net laid out. You can have labels on it to put those on, but I prefer to have those off. And you can combine them into one design, but I would have them separate parts, like so. Okay. There are a couple of other things like line formatting and kerf and corner compensation, which we don't need to worry about. Then I'm going to download them as DXF plans. Okay, download, and that's going to download then into your downloads folder. Okay. Once that's done, okay, then I'm going to go to my Onshape. Okay, so I'm going to go to Onshape. I'm going to start with a new part studio here. Okay, so let's start with a new part studio, and if I go to my, I'm going to import in the DXF plans. So I'm going to insert and then import. I'm going to point to the box design area that I've actually got saved. Okay, so import the box. You can see I've already done this one, so that one there, open. Okay, and that will import the plans into Onshape. Okay, so we now have some DXF plans imported in. Okay, now the point of this is that we want to be able to use these plans to save time in drawing. So I'm going to go to my top work plane and click on top view. I'm going to insert a sketch there, and then on this menu here, you've got the option of inserting a DXF file. So we have a DXF file that we've just imported in, box 9. So I can click on that, and that will import in the DXF file taken from the MakerCase website. So we have a pre-drawn DXF file, which saves you having to do all the dimensions for all this box because it's already been done in MakerCase. Okay. With that sketch there, I could then I could make changes to the surface design of this if I wanted to. So I could add holes to it. I could add some text. There's other items I could do for this, but for the minute, I'm just going to extrude this. So I'm going to extrude the shape. Okay. And we're going to do that to the thickness of the material that we had, which was 3.8 millimeters. Okay, so we're changing it from a plan to a separate parts. Now it does create separate parts for each of them, which is really handy for what we want because we're going to now assemble this design. So I'm going to go to plus and create an assembly here. If you're starting this from fresh, you already have an assembly tab, but I've already used mine. So I'm then going to go to insert, and I have the part studio here already set up because I've already imported this one in, and I can import in each of the parts into this, or I can import individual parts. Okay, so you can import it all in one go, or you can import them as separate items here. Okay, so let's import that in, and we have all the items in. Okay, green tick that. I'm going to choose one of the parts, this part as the base for it. So that's going to be fixed, so I can click on that, I can move that to position where I want it, and then right click and then fix that. So that's going to be fixed in place. Okay, you can see that that's now got a fixed part on there. Okay, the other parts are now free to move around, so I can use my arrows to move these around into various positions that I want. So yeah, and then I can start to rotate those and position them and start to assemble them. So we can look at, say, taking a planar mate, say for this section here. Let's move this over. So zoom right in. I'm going to take a planar mate. I'm going to grab the center of this square here. Okay, much like we did with the other part there, and then look at where that's going to line up, which is going to be in, let's see, that's going to be in, it's going to go to here, so let's rotate this around. Ooh, difficult with all these parts. I would actually probably import in individual parts and then put them in rather than trying to do them all in one go, but that should work, so that should bring it there. Now, you'll notice that it seems to be lying on top of each other, so we can use our rotate the axes to get it to the position that we want it, and when we're happy, we can green tick that. Now, you could add a second mate on this as well, but this seems to work as a single mate for the moment, so I'm just going to close that off there. And then I can start to assemble the rest of the parts in place using my my planar mate function. Okay, so we can look at the second panel, which will be the similar one to that, which would be this one here. So let's grab a part, let's put a mate onto this section here. We need to zoom right in to find it. There we are, that part there. And that will then planar mate onto, let's see, it's going to be onto that surface there. Ooh, this is tough. Let's get down to there. There we are, there. And once again, it's positioned, so you can use your flip the primary axes, you can flip it around, you can rotate it. I think actually I would probably miss that by one part, so I'm going to close that and try that again, because I think I should be actually looking at the planar mate for there. So let's put a planar mate onto that surface there instead, there, and then go back out again and find the right part. So it's going to be one there, isn't it? There we go. That one there. And we'll see if that's actually put it in place for us. Yes, that looks happier now. Okay, then we can use our rotation to rotate that to the right position for us, and then green tick that. So you can build up your assembly by using your mates until you get your final box. But by importing the DXF, you're saving a lot of time on having to create each of these panels, because you can pre-create them using the MakerCase website. Okay, looking forward to seeing your results.